Brent Barry. Brent Barry. Jumping up in here, man. This guy, I'm telling you, he didn't really find his niche until he was about 27, 28 years old. Around 29 maybe, when he was with the Seattle Supersonics, which is why I have him with the Sonics. Using the 30-year-old Brent Barry, 2001-2002 season, he really had a good year. His statistics don't jump out at you singularly. They don't jump out. Or should I say individually, they don't jump out. But collectively, you see this dude was an absolute stat sheet stuffer. The year before that, he had led the league in three-point shooting at 48%. Yeah, 48%. It was crazy. He actually made over 40% of his threes 4 years in a row, and a total of 7 of his seasons he shot over 40% from three, and over his career he made over 40% of his threes. Made 51% of his shots, period, this particular season, 42% from three, 85% from the free throw line. He averaged 14.5 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.8 steals. I mean, he did a little bit of everything that year. So the rating is good. He shot like a little set shot, so we hooked him up with that. The shorts wasn't that little, but you know, when you pick these old Sonics, they make them short. I didn't get a chance. It's him and his dad. He looks a lot like his father, Rick Barry. I've already got him in the Legends roster, so he's a guy who's gonna have both, gonna have the two dual generations in there. But I don't, I think, like, I know when we see the rating, people are going to be like, how'd you give him that high of a rating? But it's about these stats, man. And this dude is covering the gamut. I mean, he is running the gamut. And when it comes to statistics. Other thing, athletically, I had to hook him up. You know why? Check it out. I meant to, I'm going to admit, I forgot to give the hint in the last episode I did. I apologize. And I had one ready, too. My hint was going to be, who is the only white man to win the dunk contest? That was going to be the clue. And it's Brent Barry, the Ghostface Killer. He won the dunk contest, jumped from the free throw line in the dunk contest. Now, I will admit, I'll say this. It was a bad dunk contest. But Brent Barry did good enough to be to the point where, he could be a participant in some of the better dunk contests. So he did his thing. Got 7 badges. None of them are gold. I didn't give him the posterizer. Only reason I didn't, because at this point he was 30 and his game had changed. So I wouldn't give him that yet. But he got an 83 overall. And I think that's pretty doggone good. Just personally. Look at the three-pointer. 90 on standing shot 3. 87 moving shot 3. Come on. Who doth protest? No one. Brent Barry up in here. Now, y'all recognize the real with Brent Barry. He's doing his thing. It's time for the next guy. All right, it's time for the next one. And we got young Jemaine O'Neill. Because there's an older version of Jemaine O'Neill on there. But I'll remind you guys of what my rule is, so whether or not I make another guy or not. If they look different and play different completely, so guys, if a guy he's already on the roster, and he looks completely different, and his rating would be drastically different, then I make a second guy. Okay, so that would be Jermaine O'Neal, because on the game he would have a headband here, but he has the ball head, and obviously in his prime he's 20 times better than what he would be now. The next scenario is if he looks different and plays the same, I keep it as is. I'm not gonna, like I give you I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody I can. Maybe like Gerald Wallace or somebody like that. Gerald Wallace looks the same. But so say for instance, a guy used to have braids, but now he doesn't. But his game is pretty much still the same. I'm just gonna keep the version now because it wouldn't be any reason to do it just for cosmetic reasons. Then the last scenario is if he looks the same but plays different. If the current version that's on the roster, if his attributes are, if he's rated a 74 or less, I'm just going to change his attributes and I'll just update him accordingly because he's not even good enough right now to keep on the roster. So that's like Lamar Odom and those guys. So he's not even that current version of Lamar Odom is not even good enough to be on the classic roster. So I just update him to be himself in his prime. Now, if the current version is on the roster is a 75 or higher, then the old version is still good enough to keep. But then I also put him out there in his prime too. So that's a couple other guys. So just to refresh your memory. So let's go ahead and jump down talking about Jemaine O'Neal. We took 24-year-old Jemaine O'Neal, 02-03 season, 21 points a game, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.9 steals, 2.3 blocks, shot 48% from the field, 73% from the free throw line. Jemaine O'Neal looked like he was probably going to be like a bust in his first 4 seasons. He never averaged over 4.5 points a game in Portland. Couldn't get off the bench. He was playing behind like Rasheed Wallace. I think Zach Randolph was there with him. Might have been as well too. Like later on, but he couldn't get off the bench. Goes to Indiana in the 2000-2001 season and has the best year he'd had. Averaged like 13 points, 10 rebounds, and just kept getting better and better from there. Ended up going to 6 straight All-Star games. And Golden State and Dallas is trying to prime out of retirement, semi-retirement now. So I like this render. Thought it did pretty good. If I had the headband, I would have really loved it. But nonetheless, I think I got the attributes right. You'll be able to see it really good too once you see some of my highlight video legend stuff where you get a chance to see him in the uniform that he would have wore. But yeah, this is Jemaine O'Neal, and I'm digging it. Jemaine O'Neal was a really good player though, man. Athletic, good shot blocker, finished by the basket with aggression like that. So yeah, I really came straight out of high school, which is obviously that era of guys is gone, but Jemaine O'Neal was good. 13 good audacious rebounder, and I gave him the eraser because when he hit his prime, I mean he had, what did he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight seasons with at least averaging at least 2 blocks a game. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. So that, my friends, is Jemaine O'Neal. Let's go to the last guy of this episode. Last but not least, we got one of the greatest Rockets of all time, Rudy Tomjanovich. Ended up leading the Rockets to 2 consecutive NBA Finals championships as a head coach. And we took the 73-74 season. He was 25 years old, 24.5 points, 9 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 1.1 steals, 0.8 blocks, shot 54% from the field, 85% from the free throw line. Now, Rudy that was a heck of a year. That was a heck of a year. Not like, he wasn't a bad athlete. If you look at some of like the highlight stuff, you can tell he's wasn't a horrible athlete. Now, Rudy's season and career, so to speak, got changed quite a bit. Some people might know what I'm getting at here. He actually was involved in a fight. And it was just kind of shamed. Everything that happened was kind of a shame. He had a fight with Kermit Washington. Well, actually, there was a team fight, I should say. Kermit Washington was on the other team. He's engaged in a fight with another guy on the Rockets. Rudy Tomjanovich runs up behind Kermit Washington. Now, what he was running up to do, you never know. You can't say. Nobody knows, right? Was he running up to jump on him, or was he running up to try to pull him off or something like that? To be honest with you, I always thought he looked like he was running up to take a shot. Well, he ran up. Kermit Washington turns around all in one motion. Plakadao, splakatakayao, punches Rudy Tomjanovich in the face. Like one of the hardest punches you ever see. You don't see a harder punch than this in MMA. You don't see a harder punch than this in boxing. Nothing. The punch broke his face. Shattered his face. Broke his face in several different places. And he missed, I think that was the 77-78 season. He missed almost the entire season with this. Kermit Washington got suspended and pretty much blackballed that season for his career at that point. Gave Rudy 12 badges, 2 of them gold, hustle points and scrapper. Hey, well, he was scrapping, but nah, obviously this is a hustle player who wins loose ball battles, which definitely would fit him. Got an 80 overall rating. But I just thought it was raw deal for Kermit Washington. Kermit Washington was a black guy, and we talking about the '70s, and yeah, he got a raw deal for sure. He did. Um, you know, I mean, guys are fighting. You know, so if you're fighting, if everybody gets penalized for fighting, okay. But how you gonna penalize the guy who wins more than the guy who lost? So I mean, you know what I mean? They're all fighting. The problem, the bad thing that's going on there is that they're fighting. So how you gonna say one guy, oh yeah, you look at how you punched him? So I mean, you know, it's kind of goofy. But that's what happened. It's unfortunate. That's like one of the things Rudy Tomjanovich is more known for as a player because he was a really good player. So there it is. It's time for the clue. It is time for the clue for the next episode. Now this, I was kind of struggling, kind of trying to cook this up. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So I'm gonna keep it basic. We're not gonna go too crazy. This player, his nickname was Nick at Night. Nick at Night, like Nickelodeon Nighttime. You know what I'm saying. Nick at Night, you know what it is. Come on, y'all just yell it out. Everybody yell it out right now. I can't hear you. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching, man. Peace.